What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday afternoon so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm bringing you a couple of giant roster updates for the New York Giants concerning a couple of players they brought in for workouts yesterday at Quest Diagnostic Center, as well as 3 players that have been re-signed to the New York Giants practice squad, and head coach Brian Daboll updates the injury status of a bunch of key players heading into a pivotal game against the Washington Commanders at MetLife Stadium on Sunday for a battle to see who is going to be able to right the ship even more and get as we get down the stretch to the NFL playoffs. Now, in terms of first, I'm going to go over the 3 players that the New York Giants brought in for workouts today, and that, of course, is former wide receivers Adam Humphries and Malik Taylor, as well as quarterback Caleb Ellaby. Now, Adam Humphries has the most recognizable when it comes to career or so far in the league. He's former 2015 undrafted free agent that was signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in 2015, where he actually played 4 years with the Bucs originally, and then after that he signed a 4-year deal in 2018 for $36 million, but he was cut in 2019, just a year after he signed that contract, and then he was cut by the Titans after he signed with them in 2019, and he was with Washington last year in 2021, where he pretty much only played about 1 year with the Washington Commanders going forward. Malik Taylor is a former Virginia Tech wide receiver who's pretty much just been bouncing around all over the league. He's going to get his opportunity to see if maybe he could have made some type of impression with the New York Giants going forward. And Ellaby is a former quarterback who played in college football. Gonna have to see. He's just probably brought in for a workout right now. Giants don't really need to worry about the quarterback position, but Giants are looking at guys like Adam Humphries and Malik Taylor because the Giants are so starving right now to find any type of wide receiver talent or help after what they've been dealing with at the wide receiver position so far this entire season. So Adam Humphries, the most recognizable name. Obviously, the Giants are a little bit lacking now at the wide receiver position after injuries to Sterling Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson for the season. David Sills, Kenny Golladay, Richie James, Darius Slayton, Marcus Johnson, Isaiah Hodgins, they've been filling in right now for the New York Giants in the meantime. So the Giants are just trying to get by at the wide receiver position for the rest of the season before they try to go to look to upgrade it in the offseason, whether it's via trade, free agency, and obviously through the draft. Now, the Giants also brought back 3 players who were brought to the active roster throughout the season so far this year. And that, of course, is offensive lineman Devery Hamilton, who was just active and promoted from the practice squad against the Dallas Cowboys in last Thursday's Thanksgiving game. He was signed back to the practice squad, as well as outside linebacker Quincy Roche and defensive back Trenton Thompson, who have all of them have been on and off the roster so far this season. Obviously, Trenton Thompson adds more depth at the safety position. He's been bouncing around pretty much on and off the practice squad and the active roster. But now the Giants are officially designating safety Tony Jefferson back from injury. You have Landon Collins. You still have Xavier McKinney, who's still on the reserve. He's still on the reserve list right now due to the injury that he suffered during the bye week. And obviously you have Julian Love and Dane Belton as well at the safety position, as well as Jason Pinnock. Devery Hamilton was just taking over with all the injury issues that the Giants had on the offensive line. But now looks like you're going to get Evan Neal, as well as you're going to get Ben Bredesen back from injury. So Hamilton is going to get signed back to the practice squad for more depth. And Quincy Roche, he's been on and off the roster right now. He's had to fill in a couple of times with the outside linebacker injuries to Oshane Ximines, as well as Azeez Ojulari. But now that Ojulari has also been activated off IR and designated return, and as well as Ximines still playing in there, he's been placed on the practice squad. And Robert Foster has officially been released from the practice squad going forward. So Giants breaking a couple of moves right now on their practice squad going forward. So we're going to have to see what's going to happen. Giants, and here's the biggest news, the injury updates right now concerning the New York Giants. And it sounds like the Giants might get as many as 7 players back, potentially, for this game against the Washington Commanders, a pivotal game versus the Commanders this Sunday at MetLife Stadium. As we already know, the Giants have designated outside linebacker Azeez Ojulari, safety Tony Jefferson, and left guard Ben Bredesen from injured reserve, and they will practice this week. You also can get guys like Fabian Moreau, as well as tight end Daniel Bellinger, offensive lineman Evan Neal, all back for this game, heading into Sunday's game. So that's a couple of key guys that you might be getting back this week. As Brian Daboll has indicated, the only players he's not expecting, and John Feliciano as well, could be ready for this game. So 7 key players the Giants could get back. And right now, only Joshua Ezeudu, Adoree Jackson, and Shane Lemieux will not do any type of practicing at all this week so far. Ezeudu is right now nursing a neck injury. Adoree Jackson, obviously, he's dealing with the sprained MCL. And Shane Lemieux re-aggravated that toe injury that he had surgery on during the preseason. So those 3 guys, the only ones not guaranteed to practice. Cordero Flott, he's in concussion protocol, but it sounds like that he might do some light work at practice. Giants are going to be in full pads today at practice, and right now head coach Brian Daboll is expecting some of these other guys to practice at least, and then we'll have to see how their status is going to look for the game this Sunday against Washington. So Bellinger, Neal, Moreau, Feliciano, Bredesen, Ojulari, and Jefferson all could be back this Sunday, which would be big boost for the offense and the defense for the New York Giants heading into a pivotal game against the Washington Commanders. As Washington has been on a roll lately, winning 6 of their last 7 games. They're now a half a game behind the New York Giants in the NFC East, as the both teams right now are jockeying to see where they're going to either lie in the playoff picture, or both teams are jockeying just to make the playoffs this year. So those are just some of the injury updates for the New York Giants, but Giants are supposed to be getting a lot of reinforcements back, and you're going to need it going against a very, very strong Washington Commanders team that is right now on a roll at the moment, as the only game that they have lost in this stretch was to the Minnesota Vikings, and you could even say they should have beaten the Vikings because they were winning that game for the most part, and they end up not holding the lead in the end of that game, and the Vikings ended up beating them in the end. So this is going to be a very difficult game, but you have 7 key players that might be back for this game on Sunday, and the New York Giants making some moves in terms of guys they're bringing in for workouts. Adam Humphries and Malik Taylor being 2 of those notable names, and the Giants re-signing Devery Hamilton, as well as they're re-signing Quincy Roche, as well as Trenton Thompson to their practice squad, and releasing wide receiver Robert Foster. So that's just some of your Giants injury updates and injury status for a Giants roster update and injury status concerning the team heading to this game this Sunday against the Washington Commanders. So if you guys like this video, hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYGJeffyT85 for more breaking news, updates, chatter, and injury news, roster news surrounding the New York Giants. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short that will be dropping on the channel surrounding the Giants. And let me know in the comment section what you think about the latest presser from head coach Brian Daboll concerning some of the key players that could be coming back from injury for the Giants going forward, as well as some of the roster moves and players that they're looking at in key workouts yesterday, and possibly looking to make any type of additions to help this team during the stretch run in these last key 6 games of the NFL regular season. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Take it easy, and as always, let's go New York Football Giants. Together blue, everyone.